let's talk about the sort of the technical skills that you often see, with regards to martial arts. Does that generally also flow into the business skills? Do you see those two going hand in hand?
Definitely not. You can be a fantastic martial artist with all the qualifications behind you, but when you try and apply that to business without, clear direction or at least presence in your market, you can suddenly, fall very short. So, we have a pain that most people will find is sometimes when they start a martial arts business or they're involved in it, they're a great instructor themselves, but they lose themselves in the crowd. How do they stand out from the others?
What are the consequences of that, Phil?
Well, I suppose when it comes to things like marketing and putting yourself out there within the community or your target audience, if you're mixing the message up, really the client that comes through your door isn't really the client that you want. So by having that good presence or branding when it comes to logo colours, logos, your image, your tagline, it all transfers straight into your marketing, which transfers into the client that walks through your door. And we all want that client when they walk through the door to be the one and not have to sell it all the time. So having that presence, that branding, that logo, it all just ties in with getting the right person through your door and having what we call a student for life.
Is it fair to say that a lot of the martial arts specialists are very much concentrated on the technical part, how to conduct the classes rather than thinking about the business part?
Very much so, and it's a whole entity that you've got to look at, because again, I've seen and we've seen personally some really, really fantastic martial artists, but just suddenly go out of business, or they don't succeed and don't fulfill their potential that they have because they don't concentrate on those few areas that are going to help them to grow their business and live the lifestyle that they're looking for.
How easy is it to address that with potentially a mindset that isn't geared for that?
Yeah, I suppose it's sort of like retraining, is that old analogy of teaching an old dog new tricks, or even just a new person who's just starting the business. Giving them, I suppose, the steps, as I sort of mentioned previously, is the degrees in martial arts versus the degrees in business. Well, it's actually quite simple. We just have to go through those steps, step by step. And when you do that, when you've got that clear branding, that message throughout your business, completely all the way throughout, well then, as I mentioned, you're going to have that client come through the door and it's just going to be the right fit for you.
And just finally, what have you seen with businesses that have taken this approach? They've followed the step-by-step process. You've seen them address that business side, that branding side, the communication side. What do you notice?
Look, I think congruency with who they are and identifying the message they want to convey. So, we certainly don't want people to portray one image and then obviously, brand completely differently. So having step-by-steps that's going to give them the clarity, the understanding, and great success at the end of it. It certainly takes a weight off their shoulders knowing that if they follow this formula, they'll certainly get the results they're looking for.
And I imagine that formula is very much reliant upon consistency, isn't it? Brand has to be consistent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The biggest pain that I find with martial arts school owners, and they always say, how do I get more clients through the door? Well, it all comes right from that brand, and it's so important, and we miss it so much. We start a school or a business thinking about just the product being what we're teaching, I suppose, and we forget that missing link. And when we have that missing link, it's sort of like the link in the chain that holds it all together. And it just basically, it makes your business with a lot better foundation. You can't build that house on a sloppy foundation. It needs to be strong.
Great way of looking at it. Jens, thank you very much.